To start off with the conversations this evening, Namibia has been recognized as Africa's most authentic and demanding tourism destinations, an accolade that highlights the country's unique landscapes, wildlife and cultural experiences. From the red dunes of Sossusvlei to the wildlife of Etosha and the dramatic Skeleton Coast, Namibia continues to attract travelers seeking adventure, nature and authentic experiences. We're now joined telephonically by Sebulon Chicalu, the Chief Executive Officer of the Namibia Tourism Board, to discuss what this recognition means for the country and how tourism is evolving and the future of Namibia's tourism sector. Mr. Chicalu, a very good evening to you and thank you so much for making time to talk to us.
Good evening and Happy New Year to you in the power.
Happy New Year to you too, sir. First things first, what is being named Africa's most authentic and demanding tourism destination mean for Namibia?
Well, firstly, it means a lot in terms of distinguishing ourselves as a destination from the rest of the other destinations on the African continent. I think that's what it means first, and I think it's a competitive advantage. Secondly, it also means that, yes, there is an appreciation in the source market or by the travelers, those that are coming to Namibia, in terms of identifying, why they need to come to Namibia or what is it that Namibia offers different from the rest of the other countries. Now, in that setup, I think there are certain things that are coming out. Is a demanding destination. Indeed, it's true. The country is big, the landmass, and traveling from one tourism attraction to another and to another and to another requires a lot of time, a lot of patience. Fourthly, it also speaks about the unique landscapes that we have. We have two deserts, the Kalahari, of course, and then the most dramatic one is the Namib Desert, where you can find your highest concentration of sand dunes in the world, covering about 3 million hectares of sand dunes. That is where you find your Sossusvlei and the rest of the coastline going to Office Bay, Swakopmund, and the rest of the West Coast. Now, then the other aspect that's coming out, which is playing in our favor as a country, it's of course the highlight on the conservation tourism or conservation of the biosystems or bioecological and ecological systems. It's a conservation of the basis of tourism. It's of course your environment itself, of course, including the wildlife and all other fauna and flora that you can find on the land, that are being conserved. And it's one of the big and successful programs that Namibia as a country, has achieved or has launched ever since, probably shortly after independence. Now, that gives us a lot of advantage. If you look at the statistics, it tells you about 42% of our landmass is conserved, is either national parks or is some kind of either conservation or land form that is conserved. That means that's being looked after. And now those that are looking after these areas or this land or conservation or so, they also deriving benefits from those areas, being communities or individuals within those conservancies and those areas. Now, of course, that program is also a flagship program in terms of community-based natural resource management program of the government through the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism. It has a bearing on tourism itself because of what you find in there is, of course, wildlife and the rest of the other attractions, including the issues, the aspects of culture, the people that live there, their way of life, and that is. That's also being offered as part of the attraction or a commodity in terms of tourism. And I should say it's a good thing for Namibia because of first is remember we are coming from COVID. We're still chasing to achieve our highest numbers of 2019, which we have not achieved yet. So for recognitions like this one, it opens up doors for us as marketers and the rest of the people that are marketing and promoting the country. That the country is now becoming popular, becoming known at the world stage. Therefore, it helps us then, convince and attract more visitors to come to Namibia. So it means really a lot, and both in terms of numbers, but also economics, in terms of what tourism supports, what tourism brings to the national GDP, and the amount of employment that it creates. So it really in the power means a lot for Namibia for this achievement or for this recognition.
Amazing. Mr. Chicalu, how is the Namibia Tourism Board supporting sustainable and also just responsible tourism across the country?
Well, thank you. We are in charge in terms of setting standards, but we are also mandated to make sure that whoever operates within the tourism space adopts what we call environmental sustainable practices, making sure wherever you are operating and whatever you are doing, you're not destroying the basis of what you are doing. If you're building a lodge, let's say in an area, whether a national park or somewhere in a community, so you need to look after that environment upon which you are now operating from. And if there are animals around you or any other species around you, you need to conserve them, keep them. So we enforce the best practices and we speak about them and we create awareness in terms of then saying to the operators, please adopt the best, sustainable practices all over Namibia, all over the places upon which you operate or in areas where you operate. Yes.
To Namibia's conservancies, helping them create unique tourism experiences for visitors?
Yes, and indeed, as we are, anyway, you'll see us creating more tourism offerings, more routes, more cultural activities, cultural services, and the rest of the other commodities. And the way I like to explain is that we want to spread tourism across the country, not only to be based in the known areas like your Sossusvlei, your Etosha, your Bobata, and many other areas. So what we are saying is that we are developing tourism routes across the regions or across the country and identifying what are sites of interest, places of interest, and then include them in the mainstream of the tourism routes across the country so that then visitors are able then to also visit those areas when they visit from one place to another or when they are moving from one region to another. Yeah. So for that, it means we are taking pressure away from the known areas, spreading that pressure to the rest of the other areas that are not known. And that is a part of conservation and that's part of sustainable tourism development as well.
With that said, talk to us about some of the strategies that are put in place to preserve Namibia's natural and also just cultural heritage.
Well, for sure, for cultural heritage, what we are saying is, well, if you are in a community, let's say the Mara community or a Nama community, you practice your culture and your heritage as it is, as genuine as it is. Don't add up anything just because you want to impress. We want you to demonstrate your culture, your food, and all other things that you do in the manner that we do it, because that's the most sustainable way of doing it. But also then we're creating further awareness in terms of tourists that are coming, also to be sensitive in terms of then whether when they're engaging or when they're taking pictures and whatever activities that are happening, that there's also a sense of respect to the culture, cultural norms or cultural activities or the way of life of our people. There has to be a balance in that manner. But the way that NTB plays a role is creating that awareness, both in the market, which is the visitors, through the channel, which are your tour operator, the travel agents, and anyone else or travel media. And then backwards, we then also speak to the communities to say, well, let's just do our culture and all we do the way we do it. Don't add, don't dramatize it, but let it be genuine as it could be, because that is what we can sell. That is what we can display.
Yeah. Mr. Chicalu, I'm sure you agree with me that times are changing. So how is Namibia adapting its tourism offerings to meet changing travelers' preferences and also just the trends?
Well, what we need to do is, as Namibia, of course, we watching the trends. One big trend that's coming through, that when visitors are coming from far, they just don't want to visit one country. You know, if they are coming to Southern Africa, they want to visit at least one or two other countries. And that's one of the major trends that's coming. And we will collaborate with the rest of the other countries, neighbors, or neighboring countries, to create what we call, cross or in the transfrontier conservation areas, but cross product development. That means then when you develop your tours, then including Namibia, and after Namibia, they can visit any other country in the neighborhood as well. And in future, of course, when there is a better collaboration, you'll see them also visiting other countries. They may start from a neighboring country, also ending up in Namibia. But furthermore, we're developing the professionalism of the tour guides. And Namibia Tourism Board is forging ahead in terms of developing what we call the accreditation framework for tourist guides, so that then there is a set of professionalism, or in terms of then ensuring that our tourist guide are as professional, knowledgeable of their country and the places where tourists need to go, so that we are able to provide the necessary information, details, history, and all the other things that goes around the places that visitors need to visit. For us, that's a baseline. But it's further than that is also we will be starting to profile regions. We have realized that there's a lot of other attractions or sites of interest in different regions. And we'll be starting to be working with those regional council, town council, the traditional authorities, and the communities to developing other horticultural services in those areas. And they will become part of the offerings of the tourism industry. What you are saying now, you are developing new products, new services, so that then even a person that has been here for the third time or fourth time, he or she can still come back and see something different that has developed after the 3 or the 4 years. And these are the efforts that NTB is forging through the other channels of marketing, whether online or trade fairs or other business-to-business engagements with the professionals that are selling or promoting Namibia.
All right. Perhaps before we let you go, Mr. Chicalu, what is your New Year's message to all the in-house travelers and also the tourists?
Well, I think the message really is Namibia is a very stable country, both economically and politically. It's a very friendly country. The people of Namibia is very warm, and they understand the aspect of the value of visitors and travelers coming to Namibia. Fourthly, I want to say that Namibia has a lot to offer. I mean, you can offer so much in Namibia, from wildlife tourism, whether you're mentioning Etosha or your Kodom or your Bobata towards your northeast. And we also can offer the aspect of the part of adventure, which is the highest concentration of adventure activities is your coast. You have your desert that we're offering over there. And the Fish River Canyon is here, which is the number one biggest fish canyon in Africa, and other historic sites or UNESCO World Heritage sites that are in Namibia. So Namibia offers much more than a lot of other countries or other destinations. So visiting Namibia for us is really for those discerning visitors that want to discover themselves, visitors that want to be, alone, privacy, and enjoy the quality of the Namibian destination and the tourism offerings, that we provide. So they are welcome, really, to visit us, to engage us, and the Namibia tourism is matured and will be able to offer, what they want in terms of what we can offer as a country. Yes.
Well, Mr. Chicalu, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and Happy New Year once again.
No, thank you, Ndapewa.
Sebulon Chicalu, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Namibia Tourism Board, joining us this evening, talking to us about Namibia being recognized as Africa's most authentic and demanding tourism destination. Well, if traveling Namibia is on your bucket list for the year 2026, head over to the Namibia Tourism Board social media platforms and see where you can go and have fun. You'll definitely not be disappointed, as there is so much to see right here in Namibia. More conversations coming your way. Do stay with us.